there is power in knowledge to know what's going on with our gas prices, why that's happening. At least it helps a little bit.
Hi, I'm Megan with Bethel Budgets. I'm here because it's more than just math. At some point, you've probably built a budget. You've laid out your income, you've laid out your expenses, and thought it's simple math. I'll just stick to what's on the paper. But then life happened and your budget didn't work out. The reason? Because it's more than just math. That's where I come in. Let's figure this out together. Don't give up. You've got this.
Hi, I'm here today to talk about the gas prices and why they're going up over the summer. In my June monthly budget tips video, I suggested that people take a look at their line item for their gas budget and think about increasing the amount of money you're putting in your gas budget category for the summer, because gas prices go up for the summer. And I started thinking, is that true? Why do gas prices go up? And what makes that happen, and what's going on with that? So I did a little research, and I thought I would come share that with you today. I did a deep dive and I got a little nerdy with it. Surprise, surprise, if you know me, if you've been on my channel, yes, I am a nerd. And so I did a bunch of research. I looked at articles by Forbes. I looked at articles by I have to look at what I'm saying, the National Advancing Convenience and Fuel Rating System. So that was like really sciencey and big words. And then I looked at how stuff works. So I covered all my bases with, scientific articles, and just explain it to me because I am a layperson who doesn't get it. And then my budget heart, I looked at NerdWallet, because NerdWallet does a great job of explaining things and relating them to how they work with your budget. So I read a whole bunch of articles, and I'm going to kind of just compile a bunch of information for you today. I'm going to go through this as you would go through a calendar year. So that's the way one of the articles that I read went through the gas prices and how they go up and down throughout the year. And then I'm going to address what I expected to find in my research and what I actually found in my research. You may be a little bit surprised. I was surprised, but actually I shouldn't have been surprised. So stick around, because it's interesting what I ended up finding out about gas prices and why they do what they do. So to start off the year, in January and February, we have things affecting our gas prices, such as it being the lowest demand time of year for gasoline. And we are using our winter blend gasoline. If you didn't know, we have two formulas of gasoline. We have our winter blend formula and our summer blend formula. It's very scientific, using big words about what is in those different formulas and why they change over. The EPA has regulations about what kinds of formulas you can use at certain types of the year, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Another thing that affects the gas prices in the future months are that we use that low demand time in January and February to shut down and retool some of our refineries. At one time, every 4 years or so, the refinery is shutting down to retool, provide maintenance, and do a big switchover, and just in general revamp the refinery. Now, I don't know how many refineries there are in the country, but one of the articles that I read said that so at any given time in that time of year, we're operating with 25% fewer refineries. So that doesn't affect the gas price in January, February, but it does coming up. All of those things affect the cost for January, February. It should be the lowest prices of the year. What's happening in March and April with our gasoline is that the refineries begin switching over from their winter blend to their summer blend. The winter blend versus summer blend, you've got different gasolines being used, different components of the gasoline. Again, I am not a science person. I was a teacher, a musician, I'm an administrative assistant, and I love budgeting. I am not going to get into the sciencey words. You can go check my sources. You can go do your own research if you really want to know, like the ethanol and the RVP and all that. That's about as far as I'm going to be able to get you. But what I do know is that the EPA regulates what kind of gasoline you can use during what time of the year. And the pros are that this Summer Blend is better for the environment during the summer because of the way it burns in hotter temperatures. So it's better for the environment. The other thing is that it's better for your miles per gallon. You would think and you would hope that that would offset the cost per gallon for the consumer, but it doesn't really by the time it actually gets to the consumer. But that was the hope originally. The cons that are happening with this switchover is that the Summer Blend fuel is actually more expensive to make. And so that does get passed on to you, the consumer. And the second con is that that Summer Blend fuel takes longer to make. Remember that part about we're shutting down some of the refineries for retooling and maintenance? This is where that comes into effect a little bit. So what this does to the cost of your gasoline, according to the NACS, just the fact that this takes longer to make and it's more expensive ingredients, it can add up to 15 cents per gallon just at the production level. Just at the production level to make this Summer Blend gasoline, we're talking an extra 15 cents per gallon. That's before it goes through the entire process to even get to you, the consumer. So that's just economics 101. The supply is going down because it takes longer to make and it's more expensive to make. All of those costs are going to get passed on to you. Moving on through our year, now we're getting to May and June. The deadline for the terminals at the pump to be switched over from Winter Blend to Summer Blend in some states is May 1st and in some states is June 1st. So what that means is as the pumps are switching over, there's going to be inventory shortages because they've got to use up all of that gasoline before they can bring in the new gasoline. The next thing that affects the cost is that it takes a while for the gasoline to get from those refineries throughout the country. So that just taking time in and of itself is going to up the prices as well. So when your supply goes down, the price goes up. The other thing, May through August is your peak season for travel. So you've got all these summer vacations planned and all of that. So everybody's traveling more. So the demand is going up, raising the prices. So the cost to the consumer, again, is just economics 101. Your demand just went way up, but the supply is down because it's taking a while to get there. It's a problem with the complications with switching over from Winter Blend to Summer Blend. It takes longer to make, it's more expensive, so all of that cost gets passed on to us, the consumer. Now, keeping going throughout the year, if we keep looking across the calendar, the relief should come in September or October if you live in California. So in September 15th to be exact, the terminals can begin switching back from Summer Blend back to Winter Blend. So Winter Blend is cheaper to make, but it's not quite so good for your miles per gallon. Then the other things that affect it are the complications with switchover again. So you're gonna have inventories are low while you're switching over from Summer Blend and getting the Winter Blend delivered. This is also a big time of year for hurricanes. So all of the weather problems with delivery from the refineries all the way to the terminals. So even though the Winter Blend is cheaper to make, all of those other obstacles are going to keep the prices up. They can affect the prices and you can see another bump there in September and October. So September for the rest of the country, October for California. Now there were some other things that could affect gas prices that I'm not going to really get into, but politics can also, and I'm not going to talk about politics here on my channel, but politics around election time can also make your gas prices go up. And then wars can historically make your gas prices go up. Now, currently where the war is not a place where we get oil from. However, the shipping routes, this is what I read, the shipping routes are taking longer to avoid the areas where there is fighting. So that could affect our gas prices this summer as well. Overall, I'm not gonna talk politics. I'm not gonna talk war here on this channel, but those can be things that affect your gas prices. So I wanted to put those out there. You can do your own research on that part and come up with your own conclusions on that. Even though I've been talking about gasoline prices going up during the summer months, I do want to offer a little bit of encouragement. When I was reading on NerdWallet, and they have a chart, which I'm gonna show in just a minute, they talked about the prices back in 2022 and 2023 surging all the way to the national average being up over $5 a gallon. We, at least according to NerdWallet, we are not on pace for that sort of spike this year. So be encouraged there. We are not on pace for paying over $5 a gallon nationally as an average. That feels better. If you could say it, I don't want to say it feels good, because raising gas prices feels bad no matter what, but it's not $5 a gallon. So there's that. So I do want to talk about what I expected to see in this chart. I'm going to put this chart up here from NerdWallet, and I wanted to talk about what I expected to see during my research versus what I actually saw, and this was surprising to me. What I expected to see was a wavy line, right? So, everybody talks about gas prices going up during the summer, but winter blend is so much cheaper. All of this information I've been giving you would lead you to think you'd be seeing a wavy line. Summer prices, winter prices, summer prices, winter prices. That is not what it actually shows. So I'm going to pop this chart up here, and you're going to see with me that this is not actually the way it works. As you can see, here's the big spike in 2022 where we were up over $5 a gallon. That was the national average back in June of 2022. And then we dipped real low back in May of 2020 when we knew that was COVID time. So this, the world was crazy right then. But overall, I am not seeing this summer, winter, summer, winter, summer, winter. I'm just seeing this line going up. So we have a spike and then just goes back down a little bit. Overall, this line goes up. It's just doing this. There is no wavy line. It's just going up higher and higher and higher. And if you think about it, that's not really a surprise. I don't know why I'm surprised by this. When I first started driving, I'm dating myself here, but when I first started driving, gas was 89 cents a gallon. And man, I feel old, but gas was 89 cents a gallon. And if it was going up and down and up and down, I could expect to be somewhere back down, close to that. But no, we're way up over 3. And so, it goes up, it spikes, and then it goes down just a little bit. And it goes up and it spikes and goes down just a little bit. So I would say, as you're doing your budget, your monthly budget, especially for the summer, you're going to need to up your spending category for your gasoline. Your gasoline line item needs to go up for the summer. And then I would watch it for a little bit before you drop it back down, because it looks like it's just going to keep going up. So every year around the summer, I would up it and then leave it. And unfortunately, I think that's the way it should go. I was a little bit naive to that. And once I did all this research and found all that out, I thought it would be important to share that with you. I don't anticipate, because NerdWallet said not to anticipate, but I hope we don't have this huge spike. But overall, gas prices are just going up year after year after year after year. While the surge does happen in the summer, that's when we should adjust our budgets. So that's why this is a relevant video. We're going to adjust our budget during the summer. We're going to take a look at that line item. We're going to up our spending in that category. And then we're going to keep it that way for the rest of the year into the next year. And then next summer, we'll look at that again, and we'll consider upping that again every summer. So that will be our rhythm going forward. I hope you found this a little bit encouraging, that we're not going to have a $5 spike. There is power in knowledge to know what's going on with our gas prices, why that's happening. At least it helps a little bit. Gas prices are going up. Up your gas line item in your budget and keep going. You've got this.